The next Brawl Talk has been confirmed for Brawl Stars, which means the update is right around the corner. I'm going to tell you what you can definitely expect in the next update, and of course what wishes, my 5 wishes, I hope we get to see in this new update. Let's do it. Alright, as I said, Brawl Talk has been confirmed for Brawl Stars. How do I know this? All you had to do was go to Ryan's Twitter. Ryan, one of the community managers for Brawl Stars, he tweeted out this tweet here, which of course shows them recording or getting ready to record the next Brawl Talk. Him and Frank, the bald guy, who is the team lead for Brawl Stars. Ryan looks pretty happy to be on set. Also, you can see in one of the images that he tweeted, there's actually a little picture, which, you know, on their desk, which you can only presume is like their script or whatever they're going to talk about for the Brawl Talk or something. So of course we had to zoom in and try and see what it is. But by God, I mean, look, I can't really tell. It's incredibly blurry. What a tease, tweeting out something like that and the potential to accidentally leak stuff. Did he mean, like, did he know that was in there? I gotta presume he did, but he just hoped people wouldn't be able to read it, or maybe he thought maybe people could. I don't know. I even tried to like sharpen the image. I did different things. Nope, I couldn't really make it like legible. But I mean, hey, if you guys can somehow read this and figure out what's gonna be in the Brawl Talk based on this image right here, let me know in the comments. Now, before I go into what we can expect in the next Brawl Stars update, there were 2 other things I found on Twitter that gave a little bit of info what we can expect. They were pretty small, although basically it sounds like we're not getting a Piper remodel or a Piper skin in this next update. It's gonna have to come after the summer. And the other thing was that Penny's star power might get a nerf in the next update, because they did intend it to get a lot better, but it sounds like it was a lot more than intended, right? So if it's a lot more than intended, I presume that means it's going to get nerfed. I mean, they could just leave it, but I would hope not. Also, if you're wondering what I mean by after the summer, in Finland, every employer is required to give their employees 4 weeks off for the summer. So the whole team is going to take 4 weeks off, and as a developer, it makes sense for them to do everyone at the same time. You technically don't have to have everyone at the same time, but because they're a dev team, they want to get it out of the way, have everyone at the same time, presumably, at least for the most part. And Frank says their vacation is going to be in July, so the update is going to be sometime before that. We're starting to run out of time. I mean, you know, there's still some time left for the update, but obviously we just got a confirmation of the Brawl Talk, which also means the update is sometime soon. And then after the update's released, they're gonna be on vacation for 4 weeks, which means there's not gonna be much communication with the dev team. There's not gonna be, you know, they're not gonna be working anything, which means the next update after this one will obviously be a longer wait for that update. Also, by the way, if you have a Twitter, I definitely recommend following Frank, the team lead. He tweets out some interesting stuff. Also, like some really interesting stats about Brawl Stars, like this one right here. In just every single day in gem grab, 0.00001% of the time does someone on the losing team get the star player. So, well, first of all, obviously that's incredibly low percentage, but it happens. It does happen. So yes, you can get the star player on a losing team in gem grab. I guess just regardless, you can in general. Also, things like the most, what do you think is the most active city, the most played city for Brawl Stars in the world? I'll go ahead and give you a couple seconds to guess. Tick, 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 tick. Guess what? It's in South Korea. That's right. That is going to be the most played city in the world. And I did actually guess that. I just totally kind of randomly guessed. But I thought Brawl Stars was kind of big in that part of the world. And hey, I guess I was right. Also, last interesting fact before I get into what you can really expect in this next update. Only 179 people ever got Mortis over 600 trophies. I feel like that's kind of crazy. Maybe it's been a little bit more since then because people did it for the tweet, you know? But I mean, there's been so many people pushed to like so many trophies, over 20,000 in 600 trophies is not a lot considering, you know, how long beta players have been playing the game, and it's only 178. That's not that many. I don't know. All right, as far as what you can expect in the coming update for Brawl Stars, let's do some real math. First of all, I want to show this really nice graphic done by Mob15. All shout out to him. This is completely his artwork. Look, This is a bit of a summary. It doesn't show the nitty-gritty for some of the things that could be released in the update. Obviously, it's only stuff that fits in these columns. But he went ahead and did a little summary of what has been in all of the updates since global release to sort of give you an idea of what we can expect in this next update. Now, he did this a while ago, I think, but I remembered it, and I thought it was a really great graphic, and I thought this is going to be a good idea to sort of show you what we could expect. Obviously, we got a new brawler every update, and I would expect that to continue with this one. I think the only exception would be maybe if they go crazy in one direction for a really big feature that is not in the game at all, something totally different. Something like Club Wars, potentially. Maybe that would take a ton of work, and maybe you would put some other things to the wayside. But otherwise, I would expect a new brawler, and I think that is our goal, is to really up the amount of new brawlers we have. Definitely. New skin, I mean, look, at least one skin every single update. And I think it makes sense we'll probably get more than one skin too. Probably a couple skins, maybe a remodel, but not a Piper remodel or a Piper skin. A little bit of a bummer, but hey, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done still. New voices, gonna get a new voice, presumably at least one new voice. Balance changes. Now, the one thing about this update with balance changes, I don't know if I would expect any balance changes. At least, okay, I don't think I would expect any big balance changes. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but we did kind of just have a balance change, you know, that just happened recently. So I don't really expect another big one, you know, not long after. I wouldn't imagine they want to shake up the meta that much. Maybe just sort of fine tune it, like Penny Star Power. Also, new game mode, pretty unlikely, but possible since it's been a bit since we've had a new one. New maps, definitely presumably gonna happen, and I would expect some community maps. Ray just did a great contest for new maps to be added to the game. And I actually think that's going to be a really good source of maps they will and potentially will add to the game. So if you want to see what some of those new maps for the game could be, definitely go check out Ray's video. I'll go put a link to do that in the description. All right, now I have 5 wishes for what I want to see in the next Brawl Stars update, and kind of just in general for Brawl Stars. Our wish number 1 is give players, long-term players, a reason to keep on logging in every single day. I know, you know, not everyone is really at very high trophies, but I still think this is pertinent to everyone, even if you're not super high trophies. This is just a reason to keep on logging in. Like, for example, and this is not going to apply to everyone, but Brawl Stars is a game that is relatively easy to max out in compared to a lot of the other Supercell games. Like, I'm a super long-term player in Clash Royale. You know, I've a lot of cards won in that, and I'm getting close to max, but I'm still honestly nowhere close. And that's just a reason for me to keep on logging in every day. But Brawl Stars, you know, I maxed my account, and once you max your account on Brawl Stars, there's literally no reason to keep on logging in. I have 2 accounts. I have 3 accounts. 2 of them, every brawler that I have unlocked is at 500 trophies. The 3rd one, I just kind of play for lulz, box openings, for videos, things like that. And I really don't have the reason to keep on logging in. So something, just something to keep on logging in. Wish number 2, and this one is a pretty reasonable one, it's just something new to play. And I think this is pretty much to be expected, but I don't want to take it for granted. Like, I would presume we're going to get a new brawler and some new maps, and that is sort of what I mean. That's what I want. But, I mean, we've gotten that every single update, but I just don't want to take it for granted because those new brawlers are a lot of fun. Every single time there's a new brawler, it just makes the game a lot more exciting. It doesn't last forever, right? You know, once you play that brawler a bunch, you know, the excitement dies off. Once you play the map, the excitement dies off. But just having that in the first place is kind of needed, I think. So that's a reasonable wish. Number 3 is more quality of life improvements. I really think this is needed. Just small stuff that keep on making the game better. Like the added club mail, that was a great small thing. Maybe it doesn't apply for everyone, but it just helps make the overall experience just a little bit better. And honestly, this is where I really think those small things can really add up and make a big difference at the end of the day. Something that'll just make you enjoy your experience more. I mean, maybe they could improve the friends list. I definitely think there's ways they could do that. Or just other small things that just make the game a little bit more enjoyable to play. I know I'm kind of repeating myself. Number 4 is please something that adds more depth to the game. BB was a great example of this, where a brawler that had an extra mechanic. some sort of extra mechanic to maybe if they add a new brawler, give it some crazy mechanic that's not incredibly simple to figure out. I mean, Brawl Stars, it's a game where, look, it's got an auto aim button. So, I mean, if you're a beginner player, you're going to automatically assume that this is pretty much a game that's kind of low skill cap. I don't think Brawl Stars is a low skill cap game. I think it's actually pretty high skill cap. You look at competitive gameplay, and there's even a big difference between the very best players and just other people who are competitive players competing in tournaments, and they're still not nearly at the same level as some of the best players. Of course, that skill cap doesn't really have to do with aiming that much. You know, the skill cap's something totally different regarding that, but just adding something that's more depth, either whether it's a mechanic or just something else. Maybe it's a new game mode that requires a lot of depth. I'm not entirely sure, but just something like that. Number 5, and this is something that I kind of think the dev team, maybe rightly so though, has been kind of slacking on, and that's improvements to existing game modes and existing things in the game. And this is something that used to focus on more, but I can understand why it's something you might kind of ignore, because you want to focus on adding new content, right? And that's a lot more exciting than kind of improving what you already have. But I definitely think there are some things in Brawl Stars that need some big improvements, like for example Siege. I mean, look, I did my community poll. I asked how people felt about every single game mode, and Siege was by far and away the least liked mode, and it was not close. It really wasn't close, and that's a big red flag. So Siege really needs some big makeovers. I also think event modifiers are kind of not in a great place right now. I think event modifiers in general are a great thing for the game. It definitely spices up your gameplay. I mean, Brawl Stars does not lack variety. If there is any strength to Brawl Stars, it has got to be variety. There's a lot of different game modes, there's a lot of different maps. Of course, you can add in event modifiers. They just started adding map modifiers. But look, the event modifiers in the game, some of them are not that great. Like Meteors is, honestly, I think it's kind of horrible, and I don't ever think Meteors is ever going to be a good modifier no matter what you do to it. And look, I, again, polled the community, over 4,000 people responded, and only 15% rated it a 4 out of 5 or higher. 4 out of 5 or higher. And again, I'm cherry picking a little bit here because this is above 10,000 trophies. Overall, as a whole, it was a little bit better. But again, Meteors was still the least liked game mode, and it was not close. So definitely keep on improving what we have existing in the game, because I definitely think long-term it's needed. And I know there's a lot of great variety in Brawl Stars, but whenever things are in the game and they just sort of stay in a bad state, it just makes you not want to play it. And if you don't want to play that, I mean, that's not a good sign for the game. If you want news on the update and the Brawl Talk as soon as it is released, definitely go ahead and subscribe. And if you really want to hit that bell, because I will be getting that out to you as soon as possible, so definitely look forward to that. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.